The Tayne journey, the Tayne experiment, Tayne Griffin. When she got out of that car and had that smile, as they're leaving, Eric says to me, you know, she's gonna use it a lot more than I am. And I'm like, oh, that's stupid, that doesn't happen down here that often. And he goes, no, for real. And he says, she's gonna come down here once a week and use this and drive it. And she's gonna want me to do this. And I'm like, okay, sure. Well, lo and behold, like a month later, she did exactly what he said she was gonna do. Then they upgraded their car for her. Then they started out looking at race cars for her. And I was like, this is incredible. And I started telling the story, right? I started like telling other female members, and I'm like, this is the poster child for what a female should be doing with Apex.
Let's get this party started.
So the Apex journey, which I probably should try and retain that drama in my life. It started by doing this concept on an existing track, not too far away. And we spun that up with 50 of probably the biggest car people in town. And the enthusiasm they had for it empowered us to continue on. And when that first iteration fell apart, you know, one of the biggest car people in the world called me, who was one of these 50 guys, and said, well, why can't we control our own destiny and go get our own land and do this? And I was like, well, if this guy's calling, that means that's probably a good idea, I should do it. The criteria was that it had to be close enough to be able to use almost on a daily basis, but far enough away to not be a hindrance to others. And we surveyed the entire valley on all four corners, and we found land, and we were so excited. We came out here and it was like we found the perfect piece of land. And we quickly got an escrow, and the seller was supportive of it. And then all of a sudden it was like the record stopped. We were being sued, the city was being sued, and we spent a year fighting for survival with somebody that was trying to stop us from doing this. We pressed on, we prevailed in every single one of our legal challenges, which was awesome. And I remember, you know, coming down here, and we were fighting the lawsuits, and we were trying to sign up members, and we'd bring people down here. We couldn't build anything because we were still fighting. And we'd drive people down here, and we'd stand at the corner of this farmland. And we're like, hey, there's gonna be an amazing racetrack here, I promise, right? Like, you gotta visualize it. And people, I think, would get in their cars and drive away, and like, these two guys are nuts. No one's building anything. I think we were told that too. And finally, we had our last legal challenge. We closed on our financing, and we started construction. It just naturally started flowing, and it was really cool. And you know, I would tell people, like, it's Field of Dreams. Like, you build it, they will come.
My role here, I'm fortunate enough to be both the track manager and then the lead driver here at Apex Motor Club. The motorsport community and the type of work that I'm involved with in terms of managing events prior at different tracks all over the world, it's a very small community, small niche. So it was through the grapevine I got contacted, and I happen to live in Arizona, so it's obviously a good fit to be a possibility, to be a candidate for the position. I was at my first race when I was 2 weeks old. I was born into racing, so to speak, so it's been a passion of mine my whole life.
So what's it like to be a part of something that checks all your boxes?
That's just it, right? This has been a passion of mine in every element. So to be on the ground floor, literally, as it's being built, it's at times overwhelming, but just it's a great experience to be a part of. When I first met Tayne was at the academy that we operate here. So got to see how serious Tayne was with her goals and with driving, and kind of this passion starting to grow inside her, so to speak, for this driving and down the road racing. To be candid about Tayne reaching her goals and everything she wants to do in the time frame, she just has to really have commitment. There's nothing better than seat time, is what we call it in the industry. So her butt in the seat of the car, out here lapping as much as possible.
She had already taken the academy with her track manager, Gerry, and she'd become a pretty great driver in the process in a very short period of time. And I'm watching her, I'm standing on pit lane, and I watch her take this new car out, and she's faster than a lot of the guys that have been driving on tracks for a while, and it's impressive. And now she's aspired to be the first female racer at Apex. And I think it's amazing. And I want more females to enjoy it, because this is not a male sport. I mean, Danica Patrick has proven it. There's females in lots of different racing. It's certainly the exception, not the norm, and there's no reason. This is a neat hobby. It's passionate. The experience you get behind the wheel is hard to duplicate in almost anywhere else with anything you do. That's the reason I'm doing this, is because it's a passion and a release that I think everybody should be able to experience.
There's a lot on her plate, right? She's going to be the first female competitor, and my goal is to make sure she reaches her goal, or maybe even does it sooner than her goal. So there's a lot on my plate, I take it that way, so I'm trying to take responsibility for her. Tayne's growth here and her experience, she's much more focused every time I see her. She's getting kind of the eye of the tiger in her.